Oh, well, good afternoon, Sheriff Kijera, Chairman, Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violation, known as the Victim Center.
For the APRC permit that has been given and the march yesterday, you express your dissatisfaction about this. Why?
Well, it has been quite unfortunate and extremely sad for the entire victims community and the Gambian people at large, because everybody has been victimized during the reign of Yahya Jammeh. The APRC being granted a permit by the authorities, well, I think is very, very insulting to the victims and a big, big sabotage to the TRRC, to the Truth Commission.
It's a bad message.
It is not telling very well as far as the government is concerned, with the political will that should accompany the processes of the transitional justice agenda. So we are quite disappointed, and we do not expect that APRC should be given a permit due to all the circumstances and all the revelations that are coming from the TRRC. Yahya Jammeh is seriously implicated by all these testimonies, the evidence, of testimonies of all these gross human rights violations that have been committed by Yahya Jammeh, and all those that took part and assist him in committing all those crimes. I think it is not telling well. All that those has happened during the regime, during the time of the APRC regime. For the government to grant APRC to come out and stage a protest or a demonstration calling for the government to honor the agreement, a so-called agreement that APRC is claiming that the accord was signed between APRC, the AU, the ECOWAS, and the UN. I think that is definitely a mockery. Yeah, it's a mockery to the whole process of the TRRC. The government shouldn't have granted them the permit in the first place, because up until the closing hours, on Wednesday, a permit has never been granted to APRC. So I believe that it is a political decision. It is a political lobbying by the APRC. Yeah, we know that Adama Barrow is very much interested in forging an alliance with APRC. Really? Yeah, obvious. It is quite obvious, So the man is seriously trying to. He is quite adamant. To continue being president of the Gambia, but this is not the way. We all support his leadership, but it is quite a big disappointment as far as the Gambian people are concerned. APRC, absolutely, yeah, they have a right to express themselves. They have a right for freedom of assembly, but with the circumstances that accompany with that rights, not this time around, because
it's legal, but it's
morally not acceptable. Definitely, because this is about victims versus APRC. What APRC should have been doing is to be remorseful about all these allegations that are being coming forth from the TRRC testimonies, and take responsibility and apologize to victims, so that we can heal as a nation and move forward as a nation. They can reconcile with the society, so that we can move forward. But this is not the best way to move forward.
But there was, they were guaranteed a permit, but to gather, but not too much.
It doesn't make a difference. They have already gathered. They have already gathered, whether they march or they were just stationed at one place, it doesn't matter. They have been granted a permit, and they have mobilized their militants, their supporters, as far as from Casamas. I know 2/3 of the majority that took part in that protest came from Casamas, because the evidence are there for everyone to see. It is on social media. Few or some of those people were interviewed. They can't even speak the Gambian local languages. They were speaking French. So I think the government actually This one is a slap on the face of the victims. It is an insult to the victims. Granting, the people coming from as far as Casamas to come and protest, singing, drumming, and dancing, caricaturing victims, I think it's a mockery to the victims, yeah.
Today the country is very polarized, between, APRC here, between UDP, 3 years, Jotna, and Barrow for 5 years. For you, what is today the real solution of this, to reconcile the country, to heal? To allow the country to heal, as you mentioned before?
Well, I think the country is dangerously polarized and deeply divided. I think this is something the government should take responsibility and address. It is not a good sign. For the peace and security of our nation. I think the leadership should take responsibility, especially the president, and he should try and unify the nation. This is not the way to move forward. We are calling on the people also to exercise some restraint, to maintain law and order, to be law-abiding, to follow due process, and as much as everybody is entitled to their rights, we should also take into consideration the fragile state of both our economy and our security. We just from 22 years of bad governance, the coffers are literally empty. We need to work, towards rebuilding our economy, and putting in place mechanisms that are part of the reform agenda to make sure that the country is on track. So I think first it should come from the leadership, the president, and that not excluding the leaders of the other political parties. They all should take responsibility, to come together and unite the country so that we can move forward as a country.
And you are also due to have a protest also on next week, on Thursday. What would be the main message of this protest?
Well, we're calling on a press conference on Monday, the 20th of January, at the Victim Center, 11 o'clock. We're calling on the media, the general public, the victims, to come and attend the press conference. We want to discuss certain issues like Jammeh to justice, to reiterate our position and our ultimate goal of bringing Jammeh to justice with all due process guarantee. And we have a planned demonstration for Thursday, the 23rd of January. We have already lodged an application with the IGP, so we are waiting for approval from the IG.
It would be from IG to the police headquarters?
Yeah, according to the plans, I think it should be from IG 22 or whatever you call it, Gambia High School, to police headquarters. Yeah, so we're currently mobilizing people, doing the logistics and the groundwork. And I'm sure we're calling on every Gambian, because every Gambian is a victim of Yahya Jammeh's regime. We are calling on all of them to come to Gambia High School on Thursday in the morning. I think it should be around 9-10 o'clock. To at least...
I don't want to call it Act 22nd because it was built by...
Yeah, Act 22nd is a legacy of dictatorship. So I would rather call it Gambia High School to police headquarters, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Kijera.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.